Hello, everyone. It is another Wednesday, and I am here, Shanice, with the Big Auntie Energy Show. And this Wednesday, I'm going to give you the biggest of auntie energies. I got my big auntie, my big hoop earrings going. Hair is just all out, just as big as can be. But I have another really great show, and this show today, I am officially broadcasting not only on YouTube, but I'm also broadcasting on Facebook and on Twitch. Now, I'm very new to Twitch, so I don't even know how many Twitch audience members are going to be here, but for the most part, I'm really excited that I'm now able to broadcast simultaneously across a few different platforms. And we're going to have a really good show tonight. We're going to have a good time. I even have my really good friend Breezy who's going to come on, and we are going to talk at my little segment called Our Friends Speak. So she's going to come in with us, but we are going to go ahead and get this thing started. Look at this. See, I got some new fun stuff going on. So shout outs to StreamYard. I'm so glad that I'm finally on here and I'm able to do it. So we're gonna jump right in. And so I'm learning some of the new controls. So forgive me if things look a little crazy, but I'm just gonna go right into it. So I hope everyone is doing well as they are coming in. And the first thing we are going to talk about today, it's gonna be Tony Award highlights. So many of you who may be really into the theater, on Sunday evening, the Tony Awards happened, the 75th Tony Awards, if I'm not mistaken. And some of the really fun highlights that I saw from the Tony Awards were that Miss Jenifer Hudson is now officially in the EGOT club. So if you don't know what the EGOT is, that means a person who has won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony Award. And so Miss Jenifer Hudson had all three, but because she was a producer on one of the musicals that won, that landed her that officialty to become an EGOT. There are only 17 people who have become EGOTs. As we know, recently it was John Legend. He became an EGOT when he won he already had an Emmy, and of course he had an Oscar. I think a Tony was his last one that he needed to get. And Jenifer Hudson is the second Black woman to have an EGOT. And as we know, the first one is Queen icon Whoopi Goldberg. So now she joins the rank of them, and I want to show you guys, and there's more information about her EGOT win, and it's in the description below. I have a link to it, but I'm going to add it to this screen because I learned how to do that, and I'm really excited about being able to do that. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, there it is. Y'all, I'm so proud of me. Like, I am so proud of me because last week I was trying to do this and like share articles and pictures, and I could not figure it out for the life of me. And so with this new program, y'all, look, just let me start getting EGOT. Y'all can go ahead and give me a YouTube Emmy because your girl is doing the thing. So anyway, so yes, this is the article. It's coming from NPR. Like I said, Jenifer Hudson makes history. Again, she's one of the 17th people ever to receive an EGOT. And again, the second woman to do that. Yes, it was 75th annual. See, I was doing my thing. I was right. So she was a producer on A Stranger Loop. Now, I am not a big theater person as far as like going to Broadway and off-Broadway shows. But I mean, I love a good stage play. And again, she was a producer for A Stranger Loop, which was nominated and won for Best Musical. Another young man who I was also really surprised to see when it came to some of the Tony Award winners is a young man, and his name is Miles Frost. And I was trying to show you guys a picture of him, but I don't know where the picture went. I don't know where the picture went. Anyways, so yes, this young man, his name is Miles Frost. He also won. He's a 22-year-old from the lovely and great state of Maryland, which is where I'm from. and he's a former Bowie State student, got this really great opportunity to be in this Broadway show. And so he left Bowie State, went to New York, is on this show, and he won a Tony. So shout outs to Miles. He portrayed Michael Jackson in this Broadway show called MJ. Again, I do have information about that article down below. But Miles, shout outs to you as one Marylander to another Marylander. Congratulations on your Tony. You absolutely deserve it. I'm just gonna close that one out because I don't know why that didn't show. And I thought they were gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna get better at this. I swear to God, I am. I'm gonna get better at this. But yes, shout outs to Jenifer Hudson becoming an EGOT, and also Miles Frost for his win with the Tony Awards. My next one. Now the question is, how do I stop this? Oh. And I'm back. I legit am learning this stuff, y'all. I'm legit learning how to use this. And so this is all fun. Anyways, so the next topic is going to be Miss Lizzo. Now, I am a huge fan of Lizzo. But over the week, she was trending. And all I kept thinking initially was, well, what the heck is she trending about? I did see on Instagram that she had posted that she made a change to her lyrics to a song called Girls. She didn't say why she changed it. She just said it was offensive. She understands, and she went back, re-recorded it, and the new version is what people are going to hear. We're not going to hear the old version of it. And initially when I saw it, I was like, okay, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But of course, the Twitterverse did think it was a huge deal. And Lizzo was trending all over. And I think that was probably like over the weekend and also a little bit into Monday. So, of course, I did my Twitter digging to figure out what exactly did Lizzo say that pissed everyone off, because she pisses everybody off for whatever reason. And what was the lyrics? So she didn't say specifically what she said as to why she was removing it. Well, come to find out, the word that she used was the word spaz. So SPAZZZZZZ. Now, spaz is a word that I don't use a lot, but I know what it means. If someone says I'm about to spaz out or I'm about to spaz on X, Y, and Z, I naturally assume they like, okay, they're about to go crazy on somebody or they're about to go off on someone, right? That's generally what most people identify when they hear the word spaz. Well, after looking and trying to figure out why exactly that was offensive, I came across a few tweets that said that the word is actually a derogatory term in the disabled community, specifically in the UK. And that was something that I thought was really, really interesting because I have a family member, and by family member, I'm talking about like Black family member, you know, like we're not blood, but I just call him my cousin because it's like my cousin. Uh, I called and asked, I was like, hey, I never heard of this term being considered derogatory. Can you give me a little insight? And she was even like, yeah, no, I don't know about that. It wasn't a term that she has heard to be derogatory, nor is it a term that even in her social circle of other people who are disabled, that is considered a derogatory term. But I bring all that back to say that Lizzo listened to her fans. She heard their cries and she held herself accountable. She said that though she didn't know, she became knowledgeable of it and made the changes. And for that, I will always continue to love and stand Lizzo because she knows how to hold herself accountable. She knows who she is, and she just decided to be a decent human being and take the lyric out. So shout outs to Lizzo. I can't wait for Girls to be the next Summer Bob because, again, to me, Lizzo can do no wrong. I love her, and that's just that on that. Next topic. I'm just going to let you know, I don't know if anyone is commenting. If y'all are, I cannot see the comments. I don't know if people are commenting. So if you are, I'm sorry. I can't see them. But our next topic, we're going to do a little sports. And this is going to be like a sports dump specifically. And I have all of the little symbols. Where are they? Right here. I have all the symbols because I'm going to do a little bit of each. So basketball. The NBA finals are still going on. Game 6 is tomorrow. Of course, the Warriors are up by 3 over the Boston Celtics, who have only won 2. I still have Boston in 7. This has been a really good series. Haven't been any major blowouts. I think all of the wins have been about in that 10-ish range. But so far, so good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I still think that even though the Warriors could win tomorrow and win the NBA Finals, I think Boston's going to pull it out and then pull it out for the big win in game 7, which that's what I want to see. So I still have Boston in 7, but the NBA Finals will be tomorrow. And then the next thing we have right here is hockey. So I don't care about hockey unless the Caps are playing, and that's the Washington Capitals. This year we got in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but obviously we got knocked off. But tonight the Stanley Cup Finals kick off. Don't have a winner or a loser because, like I said, my team ain't in it. So, and then next, where is it? Football. So a little bit of football news that is still legitimately bothering me. And that is, I'm going to show y'all, because again, I got the little, I'm going to screen share again. And that is, let's try to do this again. Can we do it? Can we do it? Mr. Deshaun Watson, who plays for the Cleveland Browns. There have been 2 more women who are presenting lawsuits against Deshaun Watson, which brings his total up to 26. 26 allegations. Of course, this stuff hasn't gone to court. These are alleged misconducts, but Deshaun Watson has a big contract with the Cleveland Browns. But most importantly, he should be suspended. People have been suspended for less, but for whatever reason, the NFL and the Cleveland Browns, nobody has brought down any type of punishment for him. So for whatever reason, even with 26 women presenting lawsuits and civil suits saying that he had a lot of misconduct and was touching them inappropriately, and basically assuming that women who do massage therapy are prostitutes. My words, allegedly. This quarterback is still able to practice and go along his merry day playing with the Cleveland Browns. I think this is foolish. And the NFL should absolutely needs to do better. Get Deshaun Watson out of there. I think it's absolutely trash. And then my next topic of conversation, which again, don't know how do I get rid of this? I'm going to be better with this, I promise, next time. The next topic of conversation, the internet went absolutely crazy on Monday because JayZ and Blue Ivy were at the NBA Finals game in San Francisco with the Golden State Warriors and Boston Celtics. But most importantly, the reason why I brought this up is because I feel like Black people collectively saw this photo on Monday and said one thing and one thing only, which is she looked like her mama. Like, look at how freaking cute Blue Ivy looks. I think she's like 10 or 11, but she's really tall. In some of the pictures, you could tell that she's about the same height as JayZ, but most importantly, with the curls, she legitimately looks like Beyonce. I mean, people, of course, have done the comparisons, but even, of course, at this game, what I thought was really cute was, of course, they put the fan cam on them. JayZ wraps his hand around her and, of course, gives her a kiss, and you can literally see Blue Ivy say, "Dad, my hair." That just gave me life, because that is every Black girl when somebody tries to do the most and messes up their hair. But I love this picture. I love that the 2 of them were out there. She looked like she was kind of into it, but most importantly, she was into just being the most absolutely adorable little girl, looking just like Beyonce. I thought it was absolutely cute. But of course, again, this article is down in the description below. If you're watching on Twitch or Facebook, I have no clue how that's going to look. But I thought it was absolutely cute. And again, it's probably a moment that everyone has seen already. And then our last topic of conversation before we bring in my guest is going to be the latest Red Table Talk. I personally absolutely love the Red Table. They really do. I think that Jada, Gam, and Willow really bring a lot of great topics of conversation to the Red Table. They have a lot of great guests who come on and are able to give a lot of knowledge of their experience. And the most recent one, which I didn't know was coming up, was Queen Latifah. She was on the Red Table Talk. This came out, if I'm not mistaken, late last week. So it's been out there. If you haven't gotten a chance to check it out and you are listening and watching on Facebook after this show, go ahead and check out the Red Table Talk. It's really, really good because Queen Latifah brings to the table a conversation about weight, and how Hollywood and even the entertainment industry treat weight, but most importantly, how we as Black people should start to have the conversation about weight. And that brings us into our main topic of conversation, but most importantly, for my first guest on this live show, which is my girl, Breezi. I'm going to add her. Hey, girl.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Oh, bien, ¿y tú?
That.
Okay.
So, so Breezy and I are really good friends. We have known each other. How long have we known each other? We've known each other for a while.
15?
Yeah.
17 years now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say 17.
Wow.
Well, we know each other from school. And the reason why I brought Breezy on is because not only did both of us watch this Red Table, but what I thought was really dope was, like many of these controversial conversations, of course, I called her immediately and we started talking about it. And I said, hey, I think it would be really, really dope to have you on so we can do what we normally do in private, do it here, because I thought it was just a great segue into the conversation that Queen Latifah and JayZ were having, which is about Black women and specifically surrounding weight. So I'll just jump right in. How did you feel about the Red Table Talk?
I thought it was good. I think it was a honest, open take on it. You know, especially watching it from Queen Latifah, I've always, she was always one of those people like, yeah, accessible. Her obese, I was just like, oh wow, excuse me. But Hollywood's a different game. Society's a different game. So I thought it was good. I thought it was a healthy conversation.
I agree. When I first saw it and they used the word obese, like Jada says, it's obese comes with a negative connotation, but specifically for me, I'm just like, I wouldn't consider her obese. You know, like I don't know how tall she is. She seems like a very tall woman, probably at least in the 5'8", 5'9" range.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like, she just doesn't seem like, she says, like, I mean, she's big, but she ain't. When I think obese, I think a lot of us think like my 600-pound life. Like, we're thinking like big, right? Like, and so I thought that was very interesting that technically through your BMI count, you could be on that spectrum of being considered obese.
Yeah.
And I thought that was absolutely wild. And like you said, with someone like a Queen Latifah, she's absolutely gorgeous, and her talent, I mean, outside of the fact that she can sing, she can rap, she can act her ass off, I thought that part of the Red Table was very interesting. Now, one other part of the Red Table that, you know, we did talk about was the other women who were on there who were, they were fans of Queen Latifah, and they were talking about different aspects of living in a bigger body. Not all of them, but also when it comes to body imaging. What were your thoughts on that part of the Red Table Talk?
It was rather relatable because it is a different world. And to actually hear other people say that out loud and have that conversation, it was like, oh, okay, we can talk about this now, because a lot of times it's dismissed. Those feelings and that experience is dismissed as, oh, well, if you don't like it, as if it can't be liked, just change it. Like, that's all you have to do. Like, no, it comes, there's a couple other steps that come involved with that.
Absolutely. One thing that stuck out to me was actually there was a young lady who was on there who was a rapper, and she talked about how the industry treats women who are rappers and the expectation of what their bodies should look like. And that was, you know, that was the first part that kind of, you know, grabbed me and, you know, snatched my edges back a little bit, because she's, you know, she openly admitted that, you know, as a rapper, she really wasn't getting far. And so she went ahead and got her breasts done.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she was on the fence and really not feeling the idea of getting a BBL. And that's a Brazilian butt lift, the fake booties. But fake booties, fake booties.
Okay.
But she talks about a serious and understandable fear about not only getting a BBL, but honestly just coming to it like, look, I want to be known for my bars and for my skill and my ability, but that's the direction that a lot of the rap girls are going in, and that's the rappers who are really popular are the ones that got body all over the place, whether it's real or whether it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite rappers, Rhapsody, and she's not one of my favorite female rappers. She's one of my favorite rappers.
Rappers, period.
Like genderless. We all know that if Rhapsody was showing more, that she would have just as much popularity as a lot of these other girls.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't get that because that's not the look that rap goes for. So, what were your thoughts? I mean, did you catch that one too?
I did. When it comes to that, it's always been like that though. And since we can remember, it was like, okay, we had our Foxies and we had our little Kims, but we had balance with it. Now it's just like overly sexual, and and maybe I'm at the age now that's just too much. And should the bodies be embraced? Yes. And natural bodies be embraced? Yes. It's just not enough of a balance for me. I'm not mad if sis want to go get her body done. You're more than welcome to, but don't make it seem like that's the only avenue for a body to be acceptable. And then again, it's still adding to that over sexualization of Black bodies, no matter what size, but it's always sexual. I'm not a fan of it.
And that's so true because I feel like in the 90s, right? Like I feel like in the 80s and the 90s, there was a strong balance because we had our Queen Latifahs, we had our MC Lights, but even with Lil Kim, it's crazy because what Lil Kim was doing back then, we was like, whoo, this is racy. Like, ooh, this is a lot. I remember one of my favorite Lil Kim songs. I always do it when I do karaoke is Crush on You. And remember, Crush on You was like
iconic.
Yeah, but that was risque. Like, wait, she got on a fur bikini and a mink. What is going on?
A moment.
Iconic. But we thought that was racy, and I mean, nowadays, I mean, they gonna bare ass, like full bare ass. I agree with you. I do feel like there's not a balance, but that also leads us into one of the conversations we do generally have a lot. And I'm going to do this one before we go into the viral video. But it's the idea that when it comes to policing and body shaming, there really technically is no perfect body when it comes to Black women, in my opinion.
Correct.
There just isn't. And it gets to a point where I'm like, I don't know what body is acceptable because they dog Lizzo. Like I said earlier, Lizzo, huge fan. Outside of the ass out on a public seat at a basketball game.
Because what was the reason?
How did we get there? How did we get there? Like outside of Lizzo having bare ass out.
Right.
She's shamed constantly. I mean, she's berated constantly. I can't even imagine what her DMs look like because I can look on the comments and it's wild. But y'all berate her. Then we got someone like Meg. Again, huge fan. Love me some Meg Thee Stallion. But Meg has a natural body. Her breasts, her thighs, her ass. But then they talk about, well, Meg is so tall and she looked like a man. And how could she do like they trash Meg? And then you have Coi Leray, who is another rapper, artist. I don't know if it's
an entertainer. An entertainer.
Yeah, she's an entertainer. But then they was dogging her because she's too skinny. They were like, "Oh, you don't eat what you shaking," and I'm like, "Well, what size is all right? Like, what size is okay?"
Every size and no size at this point. I just wish people would mind their business and let people live. That's just the best way to put it. This should She's thin. That's her build. Let her live. Meg, that's her body. Let her live. Cause y'all, that's what y'all say y'all like. That's what y'all claim y'all like. And
That's what they
then
said.
Lizzo gets extra because God, and I'm gonna say it. We were trained to hate fat bodies. And
Ooh.
you might not be intentionally fat phobic, but some of it has been ingrained. And as somebody who's been in a fat body for, I don't know, almost 37 years, I it's liberating seeing Lizzo, but it's also scary seeing Lizzo because
Mm.
she does things that then all of it, everything gets depicted on us. So when I was younger, Monique, oh, I was Monique. When Precious came out, I was Precious. You become whatever the it fat girl is. And when
Oh.
she does things that to me are just over the top attention seeking, not even genuinely her, now it becomes, oh, that's how we all act, or this is why we don't like bigger bodies. Same token, I don't see anything wrong with her living her life, showing her body, because if it was in a smaller body, y'all wouldn't care. Yeah, and it's not
Lizzo
to hate on any of that. I'm just saying we wouldn't care if it was a smaller body.
is so crazy. I remember this dude literally talking shit about Lizzo. Like, dang, how come every time she on Instagram, she's showing ass, and she don't got no clothes on and this and the other. And so what I did was I was like, let me see who else you follow. So I was like, let me see if you follow Meg and if you follow Cardi, right? These are the three biggest stars, right? So, you go on their Instagram, you go to that person's page. So I go to
Mm-hmm.
Meg's page and I can see who I follow and who follows me, who also follows Meg.
Mm-hmm.
He's following Meg and liking her
Mm-hmm.
pictures because I can see if we're friends on Instagram. I can see if you liked certain pictures. I
Yeah.
can see if you're following certain artists. He's following and liking all Meg's
Mm-hmm.
pics. And he's following and liking Cardi's pics. Specifically, Meg and Lizzo do the same shit. They be doing a little butt twerk thing. They do the bathing suits and the this and that. And I know there's a little bit of an age difference between Meg and Lizzo, but they
Mm-hmm.
literally, if you put both IG pages side by side, they pretty much do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so acceptable for Meg to do it,
Yeah.
but
Because
not
it's sexy.
acceptable for Lizzo.
Yeah.
In the same vein, right? It's not like they're saying, I don't like women who are twerking
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was like, I don't like women who be doing all that shit, I'm like, okay, cool, I got you. But it's always why is Lizzo always doing this? And I'm like, half of the chicks y'all follow do that, and that's how they got, they become Instagram models. What's
Okay.
acceptable? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I was saying, okay, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, it's so wild to me. Now, the last thing, because I told you I was not gonna keep you forever, was this viral video. And so, for those who may or may not have seen it, I am not linking this specifically, but it was a podcast, and the podcast is called Highly Initiated. And there is a moment in this podcast where there is a young woman who is talking about how big women are able to get and keep a man, specifically because she the gist of it was that broke men and men who can't find good women or women who make a lot of money or whatever, or if they don't make a lot of money, they go to bigger women because those are the only women that are going to take them, who are going to, and specifically who are going to feed them, which I'll get I'll go ahead. But skinnier women are bigger women are the ones who would take them and feed them and keep them safe because they're the ones who have the ability to do that, and they have to do that in order to keep a man. So she equated to this idea that big women can only have bum niggas. And again, I am paraphrasing. Many people have probably seen this video because it had tens of thousands of reposts and views. What were your thoughts about that? Because girl, you know me, I'm like, the points they were trying to make, I was just like, how does that correlate to big women? Like, I didn't get the correlation.
It's a stereotype that's been around for a while that in order for us to find love or have love, that we have to pay men or they can do whatever they want, use us, we'll take care of them just so they'll stay in our lives because nobody desires fat women. What kind of confused me, it was, why is it that, sis? Like, why do you feel that way? How do you know? And a lot of people said, well, if a big girl just took him, it took your man, just say that. No, it's deeper than that. That's the issue we have between us, is where we feel comfortable speaking on another woman to down her, to project. It's projection. I say that. I wasn't a fan of it. You know, there's been a couple videos floating around, like another girl said the same thing, talking about, you know, we walk around big as fuck and act like we're chosen when we're really for help. And to know the hell it is to be a bigger woman on this planet, to know what you get called, how you get viewed, how the world views you, and to still find yourself to be that girl, is a feat. And that's for anybody, actually. To wake up in the morning and say, I'm her, no matter what size, is a feat. So imagine now being said, oh, you can't even be confident in who you are because you don't look like the aesthetic. It's getting really corny. I'm over it. Like, I'm not gonna say that I've never been that stereotype before when I was younger, because I didn't know any better. But I can tell you that I know better now, and I can't. She said about help. I can't help a nigga do nothing. All I can do is drive a nigga nuts, and I'm great at that. I'll drive a man crazy.
Drive them bonkers. So, this is the wild thing about that video, and that clip, which was, to me, my mind goes so literal and logical, which was like, everyone has to eat. Everyone has to eat. And I know big women who can't cook, and I know skinny women who can't cook. I know pretty girls who can't cook, and I know pretty girls who can. Like, to me, the food argument, like, dudes need big women for food. And I'm thinking to myself, like, everybody eats. Like, y'all niggas talking ate today, right? And there are women who are full-blown married and don't cook. Cardi literally said, like, I don't cook and I don't clean. And that nigga Offset stay cheating on. Well, I don't want to say stay cheating on. Let me not. Sorry, Cardi, I didn't mean to say that. I swear to God, I didn't mean to say that. But whether you cook or not is not gonna keep a dude with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's a better example. Like, whether you cook or not is not gonna keep a dude with you. Whether you're a big girl who can cook or a skinny girl who can cook. Like, I can cook. I throw down in the kitchen, and I'm single AF. You throw down and you got a man, and been had one for a minute. Like, I just didn't understand the food equation that was put in there, and then the idea that that's the only way that big women can acquire, like, get men and keep a man. Again, that, to me, it's like, logically, that doesn't make sense. That's not even one of those, okay, yeah, not everybody, but most situation, because there are women of all sizes who be with trash dudes. Like, trash dudes aren't only with big women. Broke niggas aren't only with big women. Like,
The equal opportunity. The equal opportunity.
It to me, I feel like sometimes people, you know, and like I said, with the title, this is like big girl, small girl. Like, this is the kind of conversation we have because we are able to be honest with each other. To me, I also feel like you said, number one, I think it's a scapegoat, and I think it's tired. I really do. I feel like that that same thinking, and that kind of like, oh, well, big one, she only got him because she feed him all the time. Like, it's tired. It's real. It's giving lazy. And then the other part, the other side of that coin, which is, how do we stop this narrative, specifically when it comes to body shaming, and body shaming another woman, because it's also giving, she's got something you want. It's giving, you saw a big girl with a dude and he was tossing her around like a goddamn pizza dough, and that's what you wanted, and you don't have that happening for you. Am I close? Am I?
I think it's all those things. We can stop when you're secure in yourself, you don't worry about nobody else. Let's start there. Start really loving you how you show up in the room, because how I show up, I don't care who in the room. I'm her. Because it took me a lot to get to believe in myself, to believe that I'm worthy and that I'm and I create the vibe. I always say, you know what? I don't complain about the wave when I provide the water. And so
Oh, come on.
when you and I know that sounds
I need that.
arrogant.
Where my little? I had last week. I had the little sound, the little. I don't have it. I don't have it this week.
But I want all my sisters to have that feeling about themselves, because what is that, baby? Do you know how we could thrive in packs versus alone? You know, sis, if it's a matter of cooking, I can teach you how to cook. Like, I'm not being funny. I'm saying it could be
If you can't
love,
cook,
but I
just say
can tell
that.
you, I can tell you what really did upset me about that video.
Okay.
In that clip, there was a gentleman who was a big girl himself and had the audacity to fix and perch his lips to say, they do. You one of us. How you want to sit here and act like you the pick of the litter? It's confusion. I said, but
Listen.
you got a body shaper on just like me.
Listen.
I be so confused. Dudes be having food eyes, fat upper areas, and really be out here talking about the big girls. I'm like, but you're one of us too, sis. You want some powder for your underboob? Like, come on, you out here, you a man with titties. I be confusion. I digress. I'm done. Just it makes me upset. It really unnerves me. It really unnerves me when you don't know you're part of the tribe and talk about the tribe. It's giving very much confusion. I'm sorry. Because what is that?
I'm so girl. You know I put these lashes on.
I don't know why you did that to yourself. Now you gotta get yourself together and do the fluttery eye thing.
These joints will legit. I didn't know that when you put lashes on, these bitches will melt on you. Like one tickle of a laughter, and these are gone.
Yeah.
You're literally having me weak. Because you know the funny thing about it was, so all of these subjects, I always try to do a little research. So I have a little bit of background.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found the clip, found the podcast and the video, I saw them, before I clicked play or anything, and I was thinking to myself, nigga, you big. Like, you a big dude. You got titties too. You hot just like me.
I was like, how? You shop and you were shopping in the big and tall and the husky boy section. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Husky pant at some point in time, sir.
You had some rolled over sneakers around about the early 2000s. Don't do this, brother.
Lean.
It hurt. It hurt.
Your shoes leaned and rocked with it. And I'm not body shaming men. I'm not body shaming men.
I might be, because I'm going to say this. I want men to stay out of. Can I say how I talk?
I think you can say vagina coochie.
Okay, I need men to stay out of vagina business. Men lately have been just twiddling their thumbs in the tea, and I'm confusion about that. They do. How do you know what they don't have, good brother? When I'm sure at one point in time, some girl that you liked said, "Ew, no."
I don't do big. Listen, and we look. I'm gonna tell y'all, we keep it real funky. We keep it super funky. I personally have never dated or been with big guys. That's not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
But semicolon. I also am not. I don't hate bigger bodies. Now, I may have my feelings about certain things that are said. I even fell out with a friend because we had a disagreement about her personal thoughts and her journeys, and we had that conversation. I knew where I could have been offensive, even though I wasn't trying to, right? But it's one thing if you're like, hey, my preference isn't that. I don't really date bigger dudes. But I'm not like, well, I don't fuck with big dudes because, big dudes, they're going to eat you out of house and home. Like, men eat you out of house and home. I eat myself out of house and home.
You gotta feed them like at least twice a day. It's crazy.
Girl, men, look, that could be a whole.
We'll talk
I
about that
don't
another day.
understand where they put all of the food. I don't get where it goes.
Well, I got a thickums. I got me a thick bitch, so you know.
My best friend, I was at my best friend's house. You know, I was at his house and
Yeah.
we were talking one time on No, sorry. I was on FaceTime. Yeah, I think he was on FaceTime. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to, we're talking. He's like, yeah, I'm about to eat real quick. You gonna hear me crunching? I was like, oh, okay, whatever. FaceTime. This nigga pours a whole bowl of cereal. And I mean, he's talking and the cereal is just going. And it's still coming out of the box. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, first off, and he ate the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where
And he
are
was
you
he
going?
thoroughly enjoyed his meal. Okay. That was
Men
good
eat
eating. That was good eating.
everything. And so, I know we go off a tangent, but when it comes to these subjects, like I said, for me, it's always the connections that people try to put and try to make things make sense. It just doesn't. The dollars really don't make sense. The idea that big women only get men because they feed them. I'm sitting there like, well, if you're a small girl, how are you keeping a man? Because I know anytime I've dated dudes, I have to keep my joint. Like I have to keep food in my kitchen. I have to keep snacks. Like I had my homeboy come over one time. He's like, "You don't got no snacks." I said, "You just said you finished eating." Niggas always eat, and it doesn't matter what size you are. You have to always eat them. Like you have to feed them.
Unfortunately.
Like, and then the idea that bigger women are willing to tolerate foolishness that skinny women aren't. Again, where is the scientific facts about that? Hell, where's the Negro facts about that? Because we all got friends who've been with a dude and he is absolute trash and she stayed with him. Ain't nobody ever say, oh, well, she be staying with him because of his size, because she big and he ain't. We be like, well, she probably staying with him because good. Like, let's keep it a buck. And anyone who's watching in the comments, seriously, if you've had a friend who's been with a dude who was absolutely trash, was any of those thoughts because of her size? That's why she was with him. I've never had that thought. Maybe it's me.
No, it's crazy, because when you really sit back and think about like, people really think this, like people really share these sentiments, but people really feel like one person is not deserving of affection until they look a certain way, which is crazy because the person could still have the health problem, but as long as they still look aesthetically pleasing, it's okay.
Right.
And even with the thinner girls, I don't know who the child Benzino's daughter, because I don't know how to say her name. I'm not even gonna do it, but I don't think it's fair that she comes and shows it, because you say you like skinny, you don't like fat, so she comes out with a petite frame and she's not enough. So that should tell you all of it's jacked, and just show up how you show up.
Absolutely.
Don't automatically assume because of one thing, oh well, you're thin, you're the picture of health. No. And I'm not going to say that being bigger doesn't come with issues. That would be me lying. But everybody has something.
Very true.
And so we'll work on it. But it doesn't mean we're not deserving of, I don't know, a full human experience without harassment just because of how I came out my mama coochie.
Ooh.
Well, who are me?
A full human experience.
Yeah, that's all.
See, this is why y'all, again, this is why I have you here to do the things and talk about the things. That's why, let me take this banner down. I need people to understand and get into it. It's Brown Sugar Brie on Instagram. Like she drops bars. This is what she does. Look, Breezy, I'm so glad to have you on here. And just so everyone knows who's watching the replay or who's watching this live with us, Breezy and I have these type of conversations very often. I will be bringing her on because this, unfortunately, is a reoccurring issue. And I think it's really great for us to have very candid, honest, and open conversations. Breezy and I do not always agree on the same thing. This one we did because, again, it just didn't make sense. But we know that, issues of weight. And like I said, unfortunately, a lot of it is around Lizzo and some of the things that she does. And these are things that we're going to talk about. We have tons of other things that we love to talk about. We did IG Live last week about what are we doing about
Lori Harvey.
Yes, Lori. Whew. Now that was
and how black women need to stop tearing other black women down.
And dude, that was a spicy, very spicy, like 2-hour conversation.
Indeed, it was.
I mean, muy caliente. But look, Breezy, I told you I was not gonna hold you, and I did. Thank you so much for coming on here. We were chatting, as everyone says. Let people know if they can follow you. Are you doing any shows anytime soon?
No, I'm my books and editing. You're more than welcome to follow me. Just know that I'm a fool on the internet. So yeah, I'm just swimming like Dory says.
Just keep swimming. That's all we can do. Thank you so much for being on this show, being my
Thank you
very
for
first
having me.
guest. We are going to see you so much more. Thank you so much, Breezy. I absolutely love and adore you. We will talk after this.
All right.
See you, girl.
Bye.
Everyone, that was my girl, Breezy. Look, I told her that conversation was going to be about 15 minutes, and that was like a smooth 30. So I'm not going to lie. I refuse to hold people. I'm going to do a very, 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 very quick segment. Actually, you know what? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? I'm going to save our Ask Your Auntie or Ask Your Homegirl advice part. I'm going to save that for next week. And I'm going to save it for next week because I might have a really special guest who I want to come on. So I'm going to save that for next week because, again, we are getting close to an hour and I refuse. So I'm going to jump right into... Ooh, sorry, wrong one. I'm going to run right into my Black woman moment. Okay? And so that's just my quick little rant that I do every week about something that has legitimately bothered me. And my rant this week is about these ridiculous airline prices. So as everyone knows, the gas has gone to hell and back. Like, we know gas prices have lost their mind. Normally, I used to be able to put like $40, $50 in my tank. And I mean, I was over full. I just put $60 in my tank and I wasn't even touching full. So gas prices are wild. We know inflation is going up and it has officially hit the airlines. The past few months, I have been looking at flights. I enjoy travel. That's what this page originally, my YouTube page originally was. It was about travel and dating and all that jazz. I don't have anything planned because these flight prices are out of control. I normally like to use things like Google or Hopper. I'm able to see, if there's some deals. I love going to get flights in the middle of the week. So that's another good travel hack. Getting flights in the middle of the week, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whether that's flying out or even booking in the middle of the week, you can generally get deals. I don't know where the deals went. Flights that used to take me from like Maryland to LA that used to be like, maybe $400. Like $400 round trip was about how much I would generally pay to go to LA, right? Coach. Your girls, I'm flying coach most of the time. These joints are like close to $1,000. I'm not paying $1,000 to go to LA. LA's already expensive. Like, the flight prices have gotten absolutely ridiculous. What I was paying literally 6 months ago, I'm not even going to say a year ago. Like, some people are like, oh, a year ago, yeah, it was cheaper because no. I'm talking like 6 months ago. Like, the prices have gotten out of control to the point where I'm like, I'm driving everywhere. And even then, I'm so skeptical because gas prices are so freaking high. Look, I don't know what is going on and if it has to do with the war in Ukraine or if Joe Biden is holding on, because I thought he said he had some reserves and he was going to let the reserves, hold us down for a little bit and the price was going to go lower, but I don't see that happening. Joseph, if you know how to work this gas, let us know if there are at-home ways that we can make sustainable gas. Let's do that. I'm legitimately, like, wholeheartedly thinking about getting an electric vehicle because I'm like, okay, if I get an electric vehicle, then I can save on gas and then maybe I can afford these high-ass airline prices. but I need them to go down. Southwest used to really hold me down for the longest time, but even Southwest is expensive. Why? I really need answers. I just want the airline prices to go back to decent levels. I'm not saying it's got to be dirt cheap like it was in 2020 or 2021. We know why flights were so cheap. But my God, give a sister something. But I need the flight prices to go down. They're too damn high. And like that, I'm going to go ahead and close out the show. Like I said, Breezy and I talked a little bit longer than we initially planned. And so the show went a little bit longer than normal. But I do appreciate everyone who showed up. Like I said, this is my first time going live on Facebook at the same time as I'm going live on Twitch and YouTube. Now, normally, I do have comments that I love to share and pop on the screen because I was having issues with that last week and was hoping with this new program I could put comments up there, but I can't see any comments today. So I am going to figure that out because the comment section is where it's at. It's a really fun opportunity to go in and chat, and I'm able to see comments. I'm able to comment back and we can have a conversation. That's how I prefer the live shows to go, and that's how they've gone the past few weeks that I've done it, primarily just on YouTube. So I'm going to figure that out. If you've left a comment, I'm going to do my best to go back and see any of those comments and be able to address those. But most importantly, next week, the goal is to have the comments that can go on the screen. As I said, I do a little advice part, but I'm going to do that next week. And we're going to have more guests. We have more shows. I am going to be back next week. I'm going to be better next week. This is a new platform that I'm learning. It is fun. It's super interactive, but it's new and I don't be knowing everything. Nonetheless, I really appreciate everyone who is watching my live stream, people who are rewatching it on the replay on YouTube. I appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Make sure that you thumbs up it. I really, really do appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram, and that is at The Big Auntie Energy Show. If you are on Twitter, and I do need more Twitter followers and people to talk to on Twitter. So you can also follow me on Twitter at _BAE for Big Auntie Energy _show. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this Wednesday. We are going to have another show next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. seems to work for everybody. So 8 p.m. next Wednesday. Can't wait to see you all. Hopefully I can see the comments and we can interact a little bit more. But of course, a very huge thank you to my guest, Breezy, for our little segment that we're going to be calling Big Girl, Small Girl. Like I said, we kind of give our views. We do this on our own. Now we're going to bring it to you. And so she'll be kind of a reoccurring guest that'll pop on from time to time. So love you, Breezy. Thank you so much for being my first guest on the show. Other than that, everybody have a great rest of your week. And again, this is Shanice. I'm Shanice with the Big Auntie Energy Show. See you later.